She smiled when she said it. It's just one night. And somehow my chest already knew the ending. Some sentences don't sound dangerous until they destroy you later. I was 20-quiet, the kind of guy who notices pauses more than words. She was 30.com.American, long back hair that moved with its own rhythm, lightly tanned skin, and freckles you only saw when the light was soft. She carried herself like someone who had already survived things I hadn't even imagined yet. We were sitting across from each other when she said it. She smiled, but not a happy smile. It was a careful one. It's just one night, she said, as if trying to shrink the words to make them harmless. I didn't answer right away. My body reacted before my mind did. My chest tightened. My throat felt dry. Something inside me whispered, "This is how people leave." She noticed my silence. She always did. "You're thinking too much," she said gently. I nodded. That was my habit. I always nodded when I was already losing. We had never promised anything. No big words, no labels, just shared silences and coffee getting cold between us. She touched her cup, not looking at me. "I just don't want things to feel heavy," she added. Heavy? That word sat between us like a third person. I wanted to say, "You don't feel heavy, you feel important." But important words scare people like her. So I stayed quiet, and she smiled again, that careful smile. It wasn't cruel. It was like she already knew she was choosing herself. And somehow, I already knew. I was choosing to stay. Distance doesn't always come from leaving. Sometimes it comes from staying quiet. After that night, nothing officially changed, which made it worse. She still texted, still laughed, still leaned in when she talked. But something invisible had shifted. She paused before replying now. Not long, just enough for me to notice. When we walked, there was space between our arms. Not distance, just space. I started noticing the small things, like the way she checked her phone face down or said my name less. I told myself I was just being sensitive. One evening, we sat on the floor, backs against the couch. The room was quiet. I wanted to reach for her hand, but I didn't. She rested her head back, eyes closed. "I like how quiet it is with you," she said. That sentence should have felt good. Instead, it felt like a goodbye written in soft ink. Because quiet is safe. Quiet doesn't ask for a future. I wanted to ask what one night really meant, but asking meant caring out loud. And caring out loud meant risk. So I stayed the version of myself she found easy. Inside, something kept shrinking. The night before it happened, she came over late, standing by the door like she wasn't sure if she should step in. Her face was tired. "You okay?" I asked. She nodded too fast. We didn't sit close. We didn't touch. She talked about random things, work, the weather, a movie. I listened to the cracks between her words. At one point, she stopped, looked at me, really looked, and said quietly, "You're good, just that. Good. Not I like you. Not I'm scared. Just good." I smiled, but something inside me folded in on itself. When she left, she hugged me longer than usual, her chin on my shoulder. "I'll see you after," she whispered. After. That word felt heavier than goodbye. The truth didn't hurt because it was shocking. It hurt because it made sense. The night came and I didn't sleep. I kept checking my phone, even though I told myself I wouldn't. No messages, no explanation. Around 2 in the morning, I realized something. She hadn't asked me to wait. She hadn't promised anything after. She had already decided. One night wasn't about freedom. It was about distance. She needed proof that she could step away from me and survive it. That realization hurt more than jealousy ever could, because it meant this wasn't an accident. It was preparation. She texted the next day. "Hey, you okay?" That was it. No story, no apology. Just a check-in. I said yes. Of course I did. When we met again, she looked the same, but I didn't. She talked. I listened. She smiled. I nodded. At one point, she reached for my arm. I flinched just a little. She noticed. "You're distant," she said softly. I wanted to laugh. Distance was her language. Love doesn't always end loudly. Sometimes it fades politely. Weeks passed. She slowly became someone I used to know. And then it hit me. She didn't leave because of someone else. She left because staying meant feeling something she couldn't control. I was safe, and safety scared her. That truth hurt, but it finally made me quiet for the right reason. I don't hate her. I still remember the way she smiled when she said it. One night, she was honest in the only way she knew how, and I learned something. If someone tells you a moment is small, but your chest feels heavy, listen to your chest. It knows when something is ending. If this story felt real, if it reminded you of someone you never fully had, you're not alone, and you didn't imagine the pain. Thanks for listening. If you felt this, consider subscribing for more stories.